Prostate shit. Bro, I just drank too much. Shut up. What the hell? Can't a girl just go and pee? I can't believe it. Is that her PC? I'm not dead. Motherfucker.
Resident Evil 9 is another reminder of what we've lost. I think that this game represents...
I lost Resident Evil. It's gone. Why? I saw it. I saw the terrible spoiler. Apparently Leon has a wedding ring. I don't know who he's married to. Obviously to me, but that's it.
To a lot of players, a feeling that a lot of us have been chasing for a long time. That feeling of playing something that you love for the first time all over.
He's married to the job. He's married to me. To you. You need to play to know it. God, I hope he's married to me.
Again, this game is incredible. It's a collection of the series at its peak. It just keeps...
Dude, I keep seeing that right now in 2026, the top games that came out, apparently Pocopia is #1 and Resident Evil 9 is #3. I have no idea what was #2. I didn't look. But I saw that it was 1 and 3.
Delivering, and while it has its problems, it doesn't overstay its welcome. I couldn't help but feel like the entire time that I was playing this game that this is one of the few franchises that has retained its soul, its identity. Hell, if anything, they lean hard.
I really want to continue playing again. I'm not gonna lie, I know it's probably a skill issue, but I thought that the first part was so long. I was so sure that I was in the middle of the game. I wasn't not even in the 1/3 of it. It's so good. I can't even imagine what the other chapters feel like.
Into it in a way that few have or ever will again. In that, this game is a reminder of what we've lost. Not only how far a lot of these franchises have pulled away.
You overstay. Listen, I'm a chicken, okay? Of course I overstay. But at least I experienced the game and it was so much fun, okay? Like every moment I got jump scared and whatnot, it was really, really fun.
From what they are, what made them special, but also from what AAA games used to deliver, what we used to expect from them, what we thought they would be in the future. So today, I want to explore my experience playing Resident Evil Requiem. I want to explore what we lost and why we lost.
You know, I think with Resident Evil, now they have the formula. I think as long as they stick to the formula, it's going to be perfect. It's like they got RE4 and they took like the combat, the sort of like the castle sort of vibes from it, like the exploration, the little puzzles. They did Biohazard, that was like the little bit spookier version of it, and they implemented it too. And now they have it. Now they literally just have to continue whatever the fuck story, have like these puzzles, the castle-like things, and they are just like set for life. It's gonna be so good.
How we almost never even got this game, and how, yet again, another single-player game is proving the industry wrong. But before that, a quick shout out to Starforge Systems, who sponsored today's video. They make the best PCs in the universe, and I
am too sensitive emotionally to talk about PCs right now. I'm sorry. I can't.
Of at least in some capacity over the years, and yes, that even means the shitty flip phone versions like Resident Evil Missions. I couldn't get enough. Looking back, I don't know if it was the media that
I don't know why they made this first scene so beautiful, but when she was walking down in the city, it was so fucking gorgeous.
Watched that shaped my taste, or maybe it was just Resident Evil itself. I'm not really too sure, man. This series just has always...
Is there like any chapter where you can be out in the open like this again? It was so good.
Struck a chord with me. I'm not a massive horror fan. If anything, I'm a B-horror and comedy horror fan. I like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Evil Dead, Toxic Avengers, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Shaun of the Dead. Those are some fantastic movies. I've always loved the stories of these absurd circumstances to the point of satire, high stakes, over-the-top kills, all backed by a hero element, a fight against a greater threat, a shadow organization, forces that shouldn't be beatable. And that's a...
Dude, if you would ask me what's the manliest movie someone can watch, something like Killer Clowns Out of Space would be definitely top 3. That's the dudiest dude movie ever duded.
Exactly what Resident Evil has always been, and it turns out it still is today. Requiem launched to over 260,000 concurrent players on Steam, peaking at over 340,000 players over the weekend, and Capcom confirmed that the game sold 5 million copies in its first 5 days. Now, for reference, not a single-player game, a AAA single-player game, has moved numbers like that since Starfield.
Starfield. Remember that? I remember that. I wanted to play Starfield.
Resident Evil 9 is now the fastest-selling game in franchise history, selling as many copies in 5 days as it almost took Resident Evil
Holy
Village
shit.
nearly a year to...
Really? People... 5 million says... I am so salty that people did not enjoy Biohazard. I don't know why. Sure, RE8 was better, but it's only because maybe it felt longer. Like, Biohazard felt a little bit on the shorter side for me.
Achieve. Resident Evil Requiem is a roller coaster. It's a theme park of the series at its best, and it's no surprise why people love it. It continues the story following the events of Raccoon City and the
RE7 and 8 were very scary. Wait, so RE7 was Biohazard, right? And the 8th one was with Dummy Mommy. I mean, Biohazard was spooky, but 8 was not. Not really.
Disaster there, bringing back the Chad himself, Leon Scott Kennedy, alongside a new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft. And it closes out a 30-year story with expert precision. I did not know what to expect going in. I knew that they were going to run the dual protagonists, but I really didn't know how that was going to work, let alone feel. What Capcom delivered...
I just remembered when I thought that I'm going to bait this bitch. And she didn't follow me, and she caught me off guard at the other door.
It was a symphony. Dark, suffocating tension building note by note, followed by an explosive release. Pure adrenaline, the hunter finally becoming the prey, and I loved every second of it. This game is so good. What Capcom effectively did is they fused Resident Evil Biohazard with Resident Evil 4. You start out as Grace, a frail and anxious...
See, this is what I'm saying too. It's so rare that that companies actually learn. They recognize that RE4 was fucking superior, but they need to put a little bit of the spooky element into it. Not too much, but enough. Although I do wish Leon's part would be a little bit longer. So far, I don't know if it's a skill issue or I am fiddling too much with Grace, but it was a 70% Grace and 30% Leon.
FBI agent that is scarred by her past, unaware of the threats surrounding her, thrown into a situation that she is not equipped for or prepared for, with no consistent lighting, constantly in tight corridors, every zombie and monster is a constant threat, little access to any high-powered weaponry. Fighting is likely just going to get you killed anyway. She is a reflection of Biohazard.
Wait, she has a knife? Oh, right. I didn't have a knife. I should have gotten a knife with Grace. What the fuck?
Least at the start, a first-person survival horror experience where you're constantly low on supplies, tense at all times, frequently jump scared, and you're just desperately trying to make it to the next safe room. Then you take control of Leon, and well, things change pretty quick. This is the franchise veteran, and he is essentially the last action hero. You follow in Grace's footsteps, and where she was the feather.
I am unwilling to talk about the parts with the fucking chainsaw.
Boy, you are the wrecking ball. You're kicking down doors, using chainsaws, throwing axes, loaded to the teeth with shotguns, pistols, sniper rifles, submachine guns, grenades, mowing down everything in your path. This game is just a constant dance between tension and release, unlike anything that the series has done before.
Unironically, it's so sad because around December and November, I literally felt like that there is nothing I wanted to play. There was literally nothing. I was always bored. The holidays were there. I was staring out of my head because I didn't enjoy anything. And suddenly, there is so many things that came out. And I'm just like, oh my god, I want to play this, I want to play that, I want to play this, I want to play that.
Or maybe the closest thing that we have seen is Resident Evil 2 Remake, where after the events at RPD...
So what I'm hearing is that it is still possible to make good games, and it's not that I grew out of it, it's just these people who are making the games, they just continuously suck their own dicks. You know, it's a continuous dick-sucking contest, and I just don't like dick-sucking. It makes more sense.
You return as Hunk, which was Umbrella's mercenary, making Leon and Claire's nightmare look like a stroll through the park, honestly. This made for an incredible experience. Now, I want to be clear, I don't want every Resident Evil to be like this going forward. I personally like the progression that they've used in the past, front-loading the survival horror elements while slowly accumulating experience, learning the monster types, finding and upgrading weapons until you yourself become the horrors of the night. But for this game specifically, it fits its purpose.
I don't dislike it, but so far this game is so good. So far I have nothing. You know what? I will give you one thing. If Grace is not going to learn how to fucking sprint, I'm going to shove a boot up her ass. I saw it somewhere that in insane mode she knows how to run. And I was like, you motherfucker.
This is a farewell to the Umbrella chapter, revisiting the past while still trying to bring in something new. It blends the old with the new and delivers a satisfying send-off without trying to rewrite or rebrand itself. Given the direction of a lot of modern games, I really did not expect Resident Evil 9 to be this good, or for it to retain its identity in the way that it has. My bar of expectations is effectively underground when it comes to a lot of these long-running AAA franchises. Dragon Age, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Final Fantasy, no matter what genre, every single one of them is struggling against what they are and who they're made for, changing their mechanics, their themes, their characters, their messaging, gaslighting themselves into believing that they need to change for a modernized audience, and all the while, nobody asked them to, they don't need to, and Resident Evil just proved that.
I guarantee you, whoever developed this game have played Silent Hill 2 Remake. Every time I was playing, I was like, this feels just like a Silent Hill. I was like, I feel it in my bones. And Outlast, yeah, like they grabbed the best fucking games and they just like squeezed it in. And it's like, you can sort of feel it, but it's not cheap. It's not a copy, it's an inspiration.
This game is just so unafraid to be what it is. It's modernized in some ways, not all for the better. I really don't like how they watered
What is even a modern audience? It's the Blue Sky people. That's it.
down a lot of the puzzle solving in this game, but mechanically and thematically, it's largely still the same. I did like the changes to inventory management. Using blood in place of herbs for healing injectors was kind of cool. A small thing, but it definitely fits the tone. But this game is just more Resident Evil without trying to be anything else, without trying to force anything else. The cheesy Leon one-liners, they're all still there. They explore survivor's guilt.
Okay, the gay stuff was weird as fuck. Okay, I was like, why is my Outlast dude is caressing Leon like that so sensually? But he was like, ew.
Through Leon, without ever making him say it out loud. No long runs of dialogue, no manufactured vulnerability. He's sick, he's struggling, and they let him express that through perseverance, through self-sacrifice, through action. And without spoiling anything, they don't even entertain the modern trope of manufactured female empowerment, of making Grace anything other than what she is.
Also, can I say, I like it that she looks pretty. Okay? I'm sorry. It matters to me. I know I'm a bad person. I like it that she looks cute. Okay? Sue me.
Scared girl that is just trying to do her best to survive. She is positioned as the chosen one, the key to everything, but they never once turn her into a blunt instrument for something else. I mean, they didn't even do recaps with this game. No retelling of old stories, no hand-holding. They made this game with the
nice ass. Look at the curves. Ooh la la.
Expectation that you have either been here before or you are okay with not fully understanding what's happening. The characters, the moments, the locations, the Easter eggs, all of it lands so perfectly if you've been along for the ride. And instead of watering all that down for a perceived wider audience, Capcom just chose to respect the people who have supported this franchise for 30 years.
You know what I also noticed? I think they toned down the yellow dye thing. You know how in previous game everything was painted yellow so that, oh, you have to go this way. Look, it's yellow. You see this? This is definitely where you have to go. I think they don't have it as much. Like the lootable boxes still have it, but they are not really guiding your direction anymore.
And that's just unheard of.
I didn't really get lost. I will be honest with you. I was actually really proud of myself. I was using the map really well.
Which should not be unheard of. That is a sad state of things, especially given for how long a lot of these fans have supported some of these franchises, for how much support they have shown some of these franchises. This is what a long-running franchise should look like. This should be the standard right here. If you're sitting around and you're wondering why games like Dragon Age the Veilguard fail, why a lot of these AAA long-running franchises just do not see the same support as they used to over the years, it's largely because they abandoned what they are and who they were made for. They retcon, they revisit, they retell.
So if you're going to hate all the gamers and you make a game that is not for gamers and you release that game to gamers that was not made for gamers, it's not going to do well. Wow.
Contort these games into something, and while chasing something new, they just give up on what they had and who they had. When I look at something like Final Fantasy, this is probably one of the best examples of this.
Which one? There is so many Final Fantasies, you have to specify which one.
Lost a lot of support over the years. And while I still think that they make pretty good games, and they still retain who they are narratively, they have largely abandoned all of their mechanics and all of their creativity, turning what used to be one of the most influential games and one of the most influential series in the entire industry into just another third-person action RPG. And while that can generate new customers, new fans, it's not what the people that made you successful are looking for. That audience is still out there. And if you leave them out, you suffer, and you suffer badly. I liked Final Fantasy 16, just not as a Final Fantasy game. I think that that's really important. A $70...
Dude, I can't believe it. I was so into FF14. They killed me so much with the previous expansion. Like, I saw the trailer and I was like, no, it's not happening, buddy. It ain't happening, buddy.
Resident Evil that's clocking in at like 17 hours. I beat it pretty quickly, or at least I think I did. I'm pretty experienced. But a game like that does not sell 5 million copies.
After killing God, where are we going next? I don't know, but yeah, don't really ask. It's just so boring. Like, what they should have done is build up a new mystery, but like, I don't know, in an interesting... I know that they have to build it up. I know that they have to start it over, but I don't know. Maybe the next ones are going to be better, but Dawn Trail was not it for me.
In 5 days to almost universal praise if it doesn't include the people that have been along for the ride from the start. If you lose what you had...
I would never like FF14, no indication. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What kind of indication would you... Huh?
How do you guys ever plan to get it back? I don't know what it is or when it happened, but something in the games industry changed. Maybe it was time, maybe it was Gamergate and the countless narratives that spun out of it that was demonizing the existing audience. Maybe it was the rise of mobile games, expanding the demographic pool. Maybe it's just years of public investment finally taking its toll. But somewhere along the way...
Was Gamergate the one when the lady was like, wow, this is not cool, and they made a big fuss and everyone is suffering ever since then? Because I would say that mobile games are not really doing jack shit.
The industry decided that everything needed to change. The games, the audience, the image of what made them successful, until that image just faded from memory entirely. I think that Resident Evil is the best example for this.
What's her face bang dudes for reviews? Yeah, I heard about it.
Industry to follow. Because this is the only franchise that still understands what it is, what people come to it for, and its evolution is honestly the most holistic that we have ever seen from any long-running franchise. Because at one point, they lost the plot too.
Mobile games are the most profitable games on the planet. Yeah, but just because there are good mobile games, or whatever mobile games, it doesn't mean that slopifies everything else. I'm not saying it's not, but I just don't think that's the biggest issue here. Sure, that's annoying in like a, hey, have a microtransaction, hey, have a battle pass, hey, have a level, but I think there might be a little bit more to this.
Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, my least favorite entries in the series, leaned hard into popular tropes of the time. Full-fledged action games, survival horror just in name only, emulating Gears of War.
How is he aiming here and hitting the wall over there? Holy.
Uncharted, Army of Two. And Capcom was going to keep going down this road. Honestly, they were going to make it worse, but then their developers saved it. 5 years ago, back on the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil, Capcom veteran Jun Takeuchi and the father of survival horror himself.
I just realized they cooked 5 years on this game. Maybe even more. Oh, how do they do it? How is it possible that Silent Hill said that, hey, we are going to release a game every single year, and Resident Evil team is cooking on it for 5 fucking years?
Shinji Mikami sat down for an interview. Takeuchi talked about how during the development of Resident Evil 7 that the company was hit with what he called a big marketing push, where the marketing department demanded multiplayer, live service, microtransactions, and DLC. As the game fell apart under the weight of that, the developers had enough and pushed back. The president responded by bringing in Koshi Nakanishi as the director. They threw out everything that marketing had demanded and instead leaned harder in the opposite direction, believing that it was best to ignore the industry and instead focus on what made Resident Evil special in the eyes of players. So in 2017, Capcom releases Resident Evil Biohazard, a first-person survival horror game that genuinely scared the ever-living.
Bro, I shit myself during Biohazard. It was so good. So good, so many nightmares.
Big shit out of me. It bucked every trend, pushed marketing aside, and it wound up being the single best-selling entry in the entire series. Well, at least up until that point. It was
Moral
deeply
of the story, marketing doesn't know jack from shite.
You know what they need? They need a new layer of managers. That's the solution for everything.
Spheric, it was vile and gross. You were yet again another everyday person that was thrown into impossible circumstances. I mean, they didn't even give you a permanent gun until like a couple hours in. And I wasn't even sure that it even had anything to do with Resident Evil up until the closing hours, but it never stopped feeling like Resident Evil. The tension, the progression, the puzzle solving, the mystery, the body horror, all of it was on full display in what felt like a true evolution of the series, leaning harder into what made them popular while still also bringing in something entirely new. That success then carried into Resident Evil Village, which then dethroned Biohazard as the fastest selling entry, and now here we are with Requiem that's pacing even faster with 5 million copies sold in 5 days. This is how a franchise should evolve. Lean harder into what you are.
But you know what? I guarantee you that journalists would be like, yeah, but you know what would be good? If Leon Kennedy would be a morbidly obese dude. I think that would add so much to the conversation. That's what we need.
We're not further away from it. This is how you build a reputation, and a reputation that retains the hard-fought audience that your games captured. And through that audience, you're going to make new fans. Social media has made every single game's release a social experience, whether it's...
They only hate attractive women? Okay. Sorry, then how about Grace would be morbidly obese?
Video streamers or whatever else. These games are online the minute that they go live. A quality game that is made for its fans is going to spread like wildfire. That is how you grow. And honestly, I think that's how you figure out what to make next. I mean, think about it. What if Capcom had gone in the other direction, leaned into multiplayer, into live service like they originally intended? Who is that game for? Well, we actually know the answer to that because they've already tried with Umbrella Corps and Resistance and Reverse. Every attempt.
What is Reverse? What is this?
Attempt at live service or multiplayer spin-off.
There is a Resident Evil live service? What?
Spin-offs have failed. I'll give it.
Oh shit. Wow. 2K, I would say, yeah, that's not very good for an all-time peak. For a Resident Evil game, that's kind of bad.
A shout out to Outbreak. I actually really enjoyed those games, but they were smart enough to keep that stuff outside of the mainline series because they already know who plays Resident Evil, but you have no idea who is going to follow you into something that's unrecognizable. You have no idea how many new players are actually going to care about what you just made. You are gambling everything on an audience that you have never met, leaving behind the one that made you.
It seems like the residents here are evil. No,
and the more that you do it, the more likely you are to forget what made you great in the first place.
That's why, you know why? This is why I was so mad at Outlast. They made that multi-player online, whatever the fuck. And sure, I played it once, I played it twice. I think I played it for like 3 to 4 days, and it was fine. For if you like play it once or twice, but it's not very repeatable. It's not very scary. It becomes a chore, and it was just generally just kind of like a nyeh. Yeah, the Colors of... I played it offline too, because it was fun. A little bit. But then, like, you cannot make a horror game, but also make it repeatable. Repeating things kills the fear out of it. So it will just become like, oh yeah, I have to go to that. And every round was so much the same.
I'm going to give you guys a bit of an anecdote for this. I've been going through a bit of a creative crisis lately.
Ooh.
The channel has been doing fantastic. You guys have been incredibly supportive of just about
we were fantastic.
everything that I do, which I truly appreciate and I'm constantly humbled by, but holy hell am I competitive. I want to get bigger. I want to expand. I want to grow. And
I respect it when someone says it out loud. Most of the people are being coy about it and it's just like, and then they are just cutthroat behind your back, you know? I don't like it.
And I also want to get better at what I do. And I try to hold myself to that standard. And I realized that the more that I started thinking about stepping outside of my lane, the more my critical thinking suffered, the more my writing suffered, the more my direction suffered. And I think my quality suffered as a result of that, at least in my eyes.
Go back to the kitchen. Make me a sandwich. That's what you're good at.
And to solve this, I went back and I started watching older videos, and I realized pretty quickly, man, have I got a lot better at talking on camera. But I used to speak.
Oh, dude, he rewatches himself. I sometimes try to rewatch myself, and I just cry. Like, you know, I have these like ambitions to like, oh, how should I be a better streamer? And then I listen to myself, and I'm like, oh, why is anyone even here? Jesus Christ! It's like, screw you should be lucky anyone even shows up. Holy shit!
With a lot more conviction. I used to be so meticulous about how I chose my words because I wanted to make sure that nobody misunderstood me, whether they disagreed with me or not. And I think that was something that a lot of people were drawn to because I didn't dance the line between audience and industry approval because I didn't care about any of that. And while that works for me and that works for what I'm doing, that might not work everywhere else, especially if I'm less knowledgeable or experienced. Just because people want to see me talk about video games doesn't necessarily mean that they want to watch a live stream or see other content like a Let's Play or, hell, want to see me talk about something that's not even about video.
I think he could do Let's Plays. I think people would... Of course, it wouldn't be as much, but I think he could do totally like gaming streams.
Video games. That doesn't mean that I can't experiment.
Just watching you out of pity, I'm not going to eat your ass.
Experiment or expand, but delivering what is expected of you, getting better at it. That's how you understand what you're good at and what people want. And if you...
Dude, this suddenly turned into a life lesson and I'm actually having fun, but like, weren't we talking about Resident Evil? So I didn't expect to have like a freaking midlife crisis about my career halfway into the video.
Lose sight of that, you lose everything. And right...
The resident calmer.
Now... We are watching an industry lose everything while they're all trying to be anything other than themselves. A long time ago, I wrote down this video idea. Everything is starting to feel the same, homogenized. The industry's been going through this cycle for a while now. Honestly, it's been going through this cycle for basically as long as I can remember. First, it was Assassin's Creed. Actually, probably before that, it was World of Warcraft, everybody trying to make an MMO. Then it was Assassin's Creed, convincing everybody that everything needed to be an open world game. Then it was mobile.
Dude, MMOs are dead. Like, other than World of Warcraft and FF14, I'm not even sure what's alive. Like, maybe some of the Koreans, like Black Desert, maybe. I don't know. Lost Ark? Dude, Lost Ark is riddled with bots. Sucks ass. Guild Wars 2? Yeah, I guess Guild Wars 2.
Pressuring developers to either port their games, make different games, or fold mobile philosophies into existing ones. Now, the most pervasive and infectious has been live service. All of this has been profit motivated. It has nothing to do with the creative process or the purpose of these games. And while I would love to place the blame squarely at the feet of these executives that are running these companies, the profit vampires they are, the truth is that these developers hold just as much responsibility for letting this infection spread. If Capcom's developers can push back, especially given how ruthless the Japanese labor market is, then anybody can. If you are not willing to lay it on the line for your ideals, for your artistic integrity, for your integrity, or for the integrity of the hobby, well then, it's not really that much of an ideal or integrity now, is it? They have let so many games lose their purpose, lose their conviction, lose their distinction, and it's gotten to the point where nearly every single release feels like one of those memes.
Do you think Ubisoft will look at this release and regret making Assassin's Creed, whatever the fuck Assassin's Creed was even? No, never. You don't think so? No, they will ignore everything. But surely, because they keep beefing with it, right? Like, oh, like online single player games are not winning, right? And that's why they try to even put like a battle pass into Shadows. Surely they're gonna be like, wow. Wow.
I'm not like other girls, but then it's just a picture.
Did you hear about the Ass Creed 4 things?
The one where it's going to be a girl, the main character or something? Or something. And it's going to be no more RPG than before. No, it's more RPG. Oh, that's Haxie. I'm sorry.
Bunch of girls that look the same.
I find it offensive. I mean, I am a blonde with blue hair too.
This means I'm not like other girls.
Wait, blonde with blue hair? Eyes.
But then it's just a picture of a bunch of girls that look the same. Everything that we're seeing at a AAA level has become
not the blue hair. No.
So interchangeable, so disposable that you can damn near point to every single franchise or studio, and they're all just making the same game. Somewhere along the way, these guys convinced themselves that they had to have somebody else's success. And to do that, they needed to be somebody else. And now...
Well, because they don't want it to be risky, right? Like, I feel like lately... It's like everyone making these like shooter games. I don't know exactly what the genre is, but they basically want to emulate either Fortnite or Apex. And everything is sort of a mishmash of that too.
Ubisoft don't care about the money, they want to virtue signal.
To who? To the 5 people on Blue Sky?
They are neither.
Marathon is literally Apex. Yeah, but is it better than Apex? It has to be better if they want to be good. Otherwise, why would people leave from one game to the other?
They've lost what made them, and they never found what they were actually chasing. It is just so damn refreshing to see a game just be okay with just being itself, and also to see the developers defend it. I could not put Requiem down. I beat it in 2 sittings. Here I am on another
He beat it in 2 sittings? Oh, now I feel like a fucking loser.
Playthrough again, and now I'm tempted to go back and play Resident Evil 2, and that made me realize...
Same. You guys can eat my ass.
Something. I can't get Resident Evil anywhere else.
Bro.
There isn't a single game, at least to my knowledge, that plays like it, that is like it. And while there are other survival horror games that exist, they either have completely different texture or they're clones. If you want the original, you buy the original. If you want Resident Evil, if you want that experience, you have to buy Resident Evil. That it factor is what made some of the biggest publishers, studios, and titles trendsetters. They force the market to bend to their will, to bend to their sheer creativity and their ruthless distinction by comparison. And
I can already see it. Ubisoft would make a version of Resident Evil. It would be like, I don't know, cruel neighbors with Leona, the protagonist, who is a woman, but she's obese. Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that this industry has truly lost. That concept of trendsetters, games so transformative and distinctive that they made a name for their studios. They made a name for their games. Bungie created Halo. They set a standard for first-person shooters. Hell, it's still the control scheme that we use today on controllers. Final Fantasy inspired hundreds of RPGs. Resident Evil birthed an entire genre. These studios made a name for themselves by setting trends, not following them. And then, somewhere along the way, they got comfortable. They let their competition lap them, and then they went from leading the charge to being the pale imitation.
You know what I'm still waiting for? Remember when Kojima was supposed to do Silent Hill and he released PT? And PT basically inspired like a buttload of horror games. Like there was like Visage, there was Medicine, there was, I don't know, it inspired like a lot of things. I wish, I know that Kojima is cooking on like a horror game or something. We saw the trailer for it, but I really hope that it's going to be sort of PT-esque. If only we had PT. I know. Kojima should make a movie, to be honest. You know what? I agree with you. I think Death Stranding is a beautiful thing, but it's not a good game. The story is good, the cutscenes are good, everything is beautiful, but it's not a good game.
You only lose that by not maintaining consistency with your titles, by not remaining consistent in your themes, with your audience, and with your own internal innovation. You lose the ability to create experiences that nobody can get anywhere else, and you just become a game that you can find anywhere, and I just don't think these guys realize how much that hurts them. Resident Evil is one of the most consistent franchises. That means that people can go back and give other games a try. They see a video like this or they hear from a friend how consistent these games are, and that builds trust, not only in the game that just came out, but also the games that you've made in the past.
Yeah, but if you have to wait always like 5 or 6 years, bro, that means like we might have like, I don't know, like 6 Resident Evil games in our lifetime, and then we are dying. I respect it, but can't we do it a little bit faster?
Divinity Original Sin 2 just had this happen. They released the Divinity trailer right after the Game Awards, and people were hearing about from the game's fans that Original Sin 2 is a lot like Baldur's Gate 3 in a lot of ways, and people said, hey, I really like Baldur's Gate 3. That was a really good game. I'll go give this other game a shot. And after 10 years, Divinity Original Sin 2 has reached its highest sales week since the game released almost a decade ago. That's how reputation works. That's how consistency works. Only Larian can deliver that experience. If you want more of it, you have to go to the...
I can't wait for a new Baldur's Gate to come out, except it's not going to be Larian. It will be Slop Studio 69, and it will be just fucking awful and dumbed down and simplified, but there will be just like microtransactions everywhere. Oh, I can't wait for that.
Maybe I'm just being overly critical. Maybe
playing Divinity right now, it's great. Pause.
I just can't see it for whatever reason, but I am getting sick and tired of seeing these journalists and commentators post online blaming audiences when games fail, because from where I'm sitting, I'm seeing a lot of companies, an entire industry that is spending too much and charging too much for somebody else's work instead of their own. This isn't to say that these companies can't experiment, can't expand or make different games or incorporate more modern mechanics that a lot of people are into. But we're at the point now where...
Dude, every time I hear the word modern, now I'm just like terrified. Like, I don't even know what's gonna be the end of the sentence, but it's modern. I can't. I don't fucking want it. Whatever modern is, I don't want it. Please, take it away.
Nearly every single major franchise
no.
just cannot find success. None of it's working for these guys. And they're making games that aren't for the intended audience, aren't for the audience that they did have. And because of that, they're not meeting their expectations. They're not meeting their own financial expectations. And while a lot of these companies can sustain losses, they can't sustain this many losses for this long. Resident Evil, it really is just that game. It really is.
It's that girl. It's the pick-me girl, you know? It's just like, wow. He's that good. It's Leon.
What I expected AAA games to look like in the future. Games that were essentially just more of what you love. And that's exactly what this game ended up being. While there's some modern twists and evolutions, these are things that the creators came to on their own. They weren't following a trend. And that makes me feel respected as somebody who has supported these guys and supported their games for as long as I have. I love this game. I really do. And when I see a company that gives this much care and attention to something...
Now I'm suddenly a little bit nervous for the new Silent Hill game. I'm just cautiously optimistic, but also a little bit nervous.
Especially for a story that's been running for over 30 years on the dot. Setting it off in a way that feels right, making it feel right for me as a player, that gives me a lot of confidence going into the future and the next chapter they open. Anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, share it on social media.
Very nice.
Grow my influence, grow my power. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Oh man, he's on the mindset. He's grinding. He's ready to grind. Grow it. Yeah. Give him a comment. I don't dare. I don't dare, but we play. It's time.